So apparently the Blue Beetle movie is on track to earn 12 to 17 million dollars in this box office weekend.
Wow, and their star didn't even rob anybody.
Yes. I I can't believe that this movie is going to do as bad as it is because of the one fascist line. It seems like after that line came out, all the expectations for that movie dramatically just dive bombed. And you looked up
I
the
agree, but was it that line, or did they just amend their expectations after the Flash, ate itself?
No, I think for me the problem was is that as usual, the actors and the producers and the directors and all the people just keep talking. So when the writers and people were coming out, I forgot which one though, but they were saying it's unapologetically Latino. And then you have George Lopez with all of his stuff going on, all these other things, and then you have the fascist lines. Like, why are you all talking? Because every time they speak, I don't want to see their movie. And with the line though, the main kid in the movie though, he was saying he was kind of defending it, saying, "Well, it's in the movie for a reason, and that's the point of it." It's like, okay, well, I heard your line. I don't want to see your movie because I'm going to assume it's going to be garbage and you're going to do nothing but push this shit down my throat. So therefore, I'm not going to spend money to your movie. And now you see him online crying and saying that it's up to the fans now to promote this movie. It's like, no, it's really not my job anymore. I'm not the target audience anymore, I thought. So why would I want to
Well,
promote your movie?
I am glad that they've been so outspoken because,
Yeah.
like I would have said, oh my gosh, if you guys had just shut up, you would have made some money. No,
No,
you're
you're right.
saving the people, saving them from sitting at that first weekend when they haven't seen anything warning them of what's to come. And you know what? That fascist line, that is just right on brand. Because unapologetically Latino, I don't mind
Like,
unapologetically
well,
Latino,
what does that
except
mean?
for the fact that unapologetically anything now, you just mean anti-white
Yeah. And all they're
because
going to
you feel way too confident saying Batman is a fascist because everybody is always calling some popular superhero from the past who also happens to be white a fascist. And I just want to know. I looked up fascism as a definition. Fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, ultranationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a natural social hierarchy, subordination of individual interests for the perceived good of the nation and the race, and strong regimentation of society and the economy. Batman
I, I'm,
is a vigilante.
like, what the fuck? Batman's a rich guy that uses his money and time to go out there and fight crime and benefit all these different organizations. Like,
But also as part of the vigilantism, doesn't
yeah,
that then mean that he does not follow the societal, what
norms.
they're
Like, yeah,
doing?
exactly.
So, militarism, he's just going off on his own for the sake of justice. That's not fascism. Fascism would be, total government, well, not total government, having the
Exactly.
military coming through and carrying out all your dictatorial desires.
And then they were defending that character that George Lopez plays. Like, oh yeah, that's what his character does. He just says these off the wall stuff. It's like, okay, well, why are you making a character that is stupid? Like, why do I want to watch a character that every time he's on screen, I'm not gonna like him at all? And I understand like having the comic relief, a la Kevin Hart and stuff like that, though. But at least he's not an idiot character the entire time. He just might be the blunt of the jokes. He might take the physical comedy. But with this character, it's like, okay, you wrote this character to be off the wall crazy and say dumb shit. Like, why do I want to see that in the movie? Why would anybody want to see something like that?
Well, now I'm Googling, is Batman actually a fascist?
Why would Google give you a correct answer with that now, though?
No, I just want to see what the people are saying. If this is, in fact, something that people have wondered.
People are wondering, Googling, is Batman fascist?
The answer that they gave? Sometimes.
Sometimes, okay. They have no idea. But you made a great point, though, that when I was saying, like, I want actors to shut up, though, you're right. If they do talk more, like with Margot Robbie, she should talk more feminist stuff. And then people will not want to go see her movie. And I know this kind of might be a stretch, though. I think she's like M. Night Shyamalan, in a way, where she had a big movie in Wolf of Wall Street, But afterwards, when they're trying to give her her own things, they don't really do that well. So is this going to be like the... Because also, too, though, she's apparently in a Ocean's 11 remake, but it says Margot Robbie's Ocean's 11 remake. So I think they're trying to make an Ocean's 11 movie with Margot Robbie.
Death to Ocean's 11 starring Margot Robbie.
Can you imagine that?
Haven't we seen enough with Ghostbusters 2016? I've had enough, and I'm saying no.
Well, they made
Now, do you want to hear what the internet says about Batman being a fascist?
Oh, absolutely.
On the one hand, Batman is everything but a nationalist. In fact, Batman seems to despise government institutions and often refers to Superman as a scout boy, given the Kryptonian tendency to follow the law regardless of their fairness.
What does that mean? Doesn't Batman follow the law too? He arrests criminals. So he's arresting people that are obviously breaking the law. Is he just jealous of Superman at this point though because he's bigger, faster, and stronger and all these other things and people like him more?
But that, and this article is called, Is Batman Actually a Fascist? And now they're saying that Bruce Wayne's vast financial resources only complicates the Batman character. The idea of a millionaire spending thousands of dollars on gadgets he uses to beat down poor criminals is problematic, to say the least. How about... Shut up. The article is about, is Batman actually a fascist? And now you want to talk about, is he problematic? Write an article, is Batman a problematic person then?
Can I ask what hair color and weight the author of this article was?
I'll have to look it up. This is collider.com / Batman-fascist.
Holy shit. What the fuck are these news organizations now? Because
at the same time, Bruce is constantly lobbying for wealth distribution and democratic access to public services. Wow.
Well, it sounds like
doesn't sound fascist to me. It, in fact, sounds quite obvious, and that everyone who's ever called Batman a fascist is speaking out of their ass, like they often do.
But as I tell people, I said, imagine the editing room when George Lopez said that line, and the entire cast and crew just started bursting down into laughter, and then they decided, okay, we're going to put this in the trailer, because this is going to be the best line of the entire movie. And then they edited all this stuff there, and they slapped themselves on the back and said, what a great job this is, and then they pressed post. And then the internet said, fuck you, I'm not seeing your movie. And then the actors and directors had to go out there and defend the line. Because you know you fucked up when you have to defend a line in the trailer. Because again, all we know that he probably just said this and then that was the end of it though. But for them to come out there and have to defend it and give explanations for it, that just shows you how monumentally they screwed up. And when Warner Brothers just had a colossal flop with The Flash, and they're desperately trying to get DC going, like, I think at this point, everyone should be under a microscope from now on in Hollywood, because just like with the Dylan Mulvaney thing, it shows how one can and how one line could really screw everything up for everyone else.
I'm down the Batman fascist rabbit hole.
I know, I figured that. I'm like, oh no, she's just Googling shit now.
Well, what is Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns? This is one where he is apparently undeniably a fascist. And if that's where they're hanging their hat on Batman being a fascist, maybe they should have incorporated it into the film universe before they had George Lopez say it.
Whoa. Listen, no. You're mistaken here, because we don't know what the Batman is. Because remember, this is the new DC. This is the new reboot. So this is not going to be Ben Affleck Batman. It's not going to be Robert Pattinson Batman. We might have new fascist Batman.
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Because, we have new Henry Cavill, Diet Henry Cavill. We might have new Batman. So who knows?
Well, I gotta say, if after Blue Beetle, which won't happen because already superheroes are on the way out, if they did decide after Blue Beetle to, give us the old who's-he what's-its and then deliver The Dark Knight Returns, which is set in a dystopian version of Gotham City, where Batman is apparently brainwashing an army to do his bidding, and thus make himself a fascist. That does sound like a pretty cool movie.
See, that's the problem, though, because it almost reminds me of the Injustice series with the video game, too, and a couple, little DC movies with it and stuff like that, where the Justice League realizes that, no, we have to become authoritarian, and we have to control the people, because that's the only way we can have peace. A movie like that would work, but I think they're trying to cram this idea of fascism into things that have nothing to do with fascism, so when they actually write something about that, they wouldn't know what to do, I don't think.
Well, I agree. Also, because it's just a word.
They
Fascism doesn't mean anything,
it's
like
like
so many other things now.
it's like racism and sexism and transphobia and shit like that. Like it's just a word that has no meaning at all, and the more people say it, the less weight that word actually has.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
so
just
there.
like, I have an American flag. You must be a fascist.
Exactly.
Yes, because patriotism and uber nationalism, they must be the same thing.
Yeah. I just wanted to correct myself with something I said when I called that guy a diet Henry Cavill. I actually love I actually love the casting of the new Superman because they did get a guy that looks just like him. That's going to cost a lot less, and he
He
does.
is Diet Henry
Oh,
Cavill.
I know,
They
but
got the same square-shaped head.
I like it because they gave me the same thing. It's not like, okay, they're casted for the movie Blade and gave me an albino. Like, you got a guy that looks like the role. So it's like, okay, Henry Cavill is the new look of Superman. So you're going to get a guy that looks just like, I mean, it's not going to be like a soy boy or something like that, though. This guy's
Well,
going
I
to get
hope you're
jacked.
happy because, yeah, all right, you corrected yourself on saying Diet Henry Cavill, and I hope that the people now are like, oh, okay, I've been assuaged because now he's told me that he doesn't actually dislike this guy. I think you're a traitor. They did my boy Henry wrong.
They did him wrong though, but at least I like that they gave the new guy. It looks just like it was. What I'm saying. I like the
Yeah, they got the
casting.
same
Yeah,
blockhead, but
I'm okay with that.
this new guy isn't gonna do what
I
Henry
I
did.
mean, like, okay,
He
they're
is the space marine of our dreams, and they cast him out, and he got cast out by The Witcher. I know he quit, but they cast him out because they chose to side with the writers rather than the star, the lifeblood of this show. Henry Cavill deserved better. But it just goes to show that Hollywood is full of scum that they said Henry had to leave, and Henry said, okay, I'll go. And then he sidled on out like the class act that he and is probably dressed up like a space marine right now, going to bed in his uniform, saying his prayers to the Emperor, and then he's fixing computers in his spare time. Because that's what Henry does. Henry goes on.